Hello, good people. This is your guy, Mr. Educator, Mr. Communicator, Mr. Free Thinker, coming back at you live once again from the Lone Star State with another edition of the Media Mike Speaks, sponsored by Media Mike Radio. All right, good people, let's talk about this reparations thing here. California has now voted in a 5-4 decision to look at possibly granting reparations to descendants of slaves. But there are some reservations about this bill, and we're going to talk about it. So let's go over this article, shall we? And I'd like to know your thoughts. Now, the task force voted 5-4 after hours of debate that at times became heated. A proposal with recommendations is expected to be released by July 2023. Before it could go before the state legislature for a vote. Now, they voted to limit reparations to black families whose ancestors were in the U.S. in the 19th century, drawing criticism from others who support compensation regardless of lineage. Now, this person, Lisa Holder, she's a task force member and a civil rights attorney. She said the task force should continue to listen to the public's opinions while working with economics to carve out a plan. She goes on to say, we need to galvanize the base, and that is black people, she said. We can't go into this reparations proposal without having all African Americans in California behind us, unquote. Now, just in case you did not know, good people, Governor Gavin Newsom signed legislation 2 years ago to give special considerations to black Americans who are direct descendants of enslaved people. But the good question is, good people, how are we going to know that? But here's the thing. This is what they're including. So if you're thinking about just a big check, you may have another thing coming. Reparations could include assistance with buying homes. Okay, but a lot of people already get that. Establishing businesses, well, people get that too. Grants to churches? Well, I don't think churches really need grants, good people. They get enough funds. They do. And organizations and free college tuition, which individuals can go to school nowadays actually for free with all the grants and tuition assistance that's available. Now, however, under Tuesday's vote, some black Californians, such as immigrants from East and West Africa and the Caribbean, would not be eligible for the compensation. That means only a fraction of the state's 2.6 million black residents would be able to benefit from the proposal. That's going to make our so-called brothers and sisters from the Caribbean upset. Now, the article goes on to read, people, while black residents make up 6.5% of California's population, according to U.S. Census data, black men make up nearly 30% of the state's prison population. Now, this task force, good people, they have to come up with an improvement plan on how black Californians would be able to prove their ancestry. That's what I said earlier. I don't know. I have reservations about this. But California Assemblyman Reginald Jones says that the descendants of slaves are the priority, which I do understand. But Jones goes on to say that we're arguing over cash payments, which I firmly don't believe are the be-all and end-all, which I do agree. I don't know how this is really going to work out. I really don't know. This is going to cause the firestorm. But I do not believe cash payments is going to be the answer. That's what people want, which they'll probably spend up in a month, or less. So, but some of the task force had pushed for reparations for all black residents, regardless of lineage, arguing that they continue to suffer from inequality in housing, education, employment, criminal justice, and other arenas. They have also raised concerns about the difficulties of proving lineage, noting that enslavers often ship people to work in various plantations across the U.S. and outside of the country. This is going to be big. Now, let me tell you what I do think would be fair. Kevon Ward, co-founder of Where's My Land, a group of fighting to reclaim stolen land for Black Americans, said on Wednesday that she was in favor of a broader eligibility. Black people continue to deal with racism and discrimination in every aspect of this country, whether healthcare, juvenile justice, or the wealth gap. Black residents who are not descendants of slaves have still been harmed by the legacy of slavery, whether from Jim Crow laws or the prison system, and also deserve restitution, she said. I agree with her. Now that's what I like. And you know what I think what would be fair? Land. Land would be a good reparations. You know what? Really to make it really fair, give the 40 acres and a mule. Where's the 40 acres? If you really want to put this to bed to a certain degree, where is the 40 acres and a mule? Well, we don't need mules today, but the 40 acres would be nice. Now, Ward goes on to say, a resident of Manhattan Beach in Southern California founded a group in 2020 called Justice for Bruce's Beach to advocate that beachfront land that the city seized from a Black couple in the 1920s be returned to the family. She said she hoped the task force would push for similar reparations. That's what I just said. Land. Reclamation is a way to repair the damage, and Black people should get stolen land back and should get restitution, unquote. That's, to me, is a better remedy than cutting a check, because money be gone. It'll be gone. I mean, I think that's a better plan to me. Now, the task force has not yet decided how residents would prove eligibility, and that's what I keep saying, and what kind of reparation they could receive. The state would need to pass a new law to dole out compensation. I think the land is the way to go. 2 million Black Californians are estimated to be descendants of slaves out of 2.6 million total Black residents in the state. Task force said in a meeting on Wednesday, citing estimates that a reparations bill to support those descendants could cost $672 billion. The task force also discussed possible frameworks that would consider specific harms and atrocities to prioritize such an unjust property takings by eminent domain, segregated education, police violence, and housing discrimination. Now, just in case you did not know, good people, this is my first stream, but last year I did a video on the Chicago suburb of Evanston, Illinois. Now, they created the first reparation program in the U.S. Each program offers reparation money to Black residents whose families suffered lasting damage from decades of discriminatory practices, meaning redlining. Now, in January, a committee approved the first 16 applicants to receive $25,000 in the city's reparations housing program. The applicants can use the money for home repairs, down payments, or mortgage payments. That's what Evanston did, good people. Now, other cities, including Chicago, Providence, Rhode Island, and Burlington, Vermont, have also created committees to look at reparations. I think that's fair. But the drawback to this, in my opinion, good people, is that some of our people have gone too far intellectually to receive money. Because if you aren't taught anything beyond being a 9-to-5 worker, it'll leave your hands as soon as you collect the money. So that would be a problem to me. You're going to need some positivity and motivation to invest, to turn this into some type of consistent income. But I do believe land is the way to go. That's fair. But this is something to think about. But California is moving that way. And I hope it passes. I really do. But if you want to talk reparations, land is the way to go. But anyway, good people, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. This is a short stream, not too much, but I'm hoping y'all can check that out with California. So this is my first live stream. I'm trying to see how it goes before we move on. So check out the YouTube channel, The Media Mike Speaks. So this is sponsored by Media Mike Radio. Until next time, this is your guy, Mr. Educator, Mr. Communicator, Mr. Free Thinker. Subscribe, share, and like to keep me rocking on the mic. Have a good night.